into the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. From right here in the Impact Power Sports studio. Impact Power Sports, you can find them online. ImpactPowerSportsMI.com. In fact, they are giving away a Yamaha golf cart at Impact Power Sports. A Detroit Lions Yamaha golf cart at Impact Power Sports. This is it right here. The guy closest to us on there, that's Drew. And I don't know who that is with him. Is that his dad? I don't think so. No, that's definitely not his dad. That would be Ron. No, that's Drew, and it's part of the festivities. Stand by. Over at Gun Lake Casino Resort. Bob says, "Can I enter to win?" Absolutely. Being that you're in Pennsylvania, it's real simple. You just drive to Michigan and then drop your name in the box at Gun Lake Casino Resort. If you want in on this, you can also head over to Gun Lake Casino and Resort for the Detroit Lions watch parties over at 131 Sports Bar. The Lions are off this week, but on November 2nd, that would be next Sunday, producer Steve, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say producer, show host Steve will be there at 1 o'clock. So drop in and say, "Hey, Eric Zane sent me." The week after, Kelly Cheese will be there. You can drop in and say hi to her. That's a 425 joint. After that, Jana will be there. And then Maitland will be there on Sunday the 23rd for Charlie Kirk Hot Take Day. All right. Alan says they're going to jail sex the Vikings. Yeah, the Vikings got beat yesterday on Thursday Night Football. And the Lions are pretty good this year. Becca Shea is here. She said she had her interview at Costco. You know, my neighbor here runs the joint over there. And some time ago, I put in a good word for her. And you strike me as the type of person that would be a good Costco employee because you're photogenic. One thing that you'll never, ever be able to forget is that all Costco employees look impeccable. They take care of themselves and they dress well. It's like they said, all right, before we hire you, we want to make sure you don't look like a slob. Like if I tried to get a job at Costco, I couldn't get a job. I look too haggard and old. You can be old, you just can't look old. Which is why there are no mutants that work there. They want intelligent, successful, energetic, clean, and together people at Costco. The job interviews aren't actually to, determine whether or not you can do the job. It's just to make sure that you don't look like some of the mutants that are hired at places like Walmart. That's where, and the Jennison Meyer, because that's where the mutants go. Megan says if I worked at Costco, I would want to be making pizzas with that cool sauce machine. Yeah, the kitchen area is a big hit. That is the place to go. It's like a bar. There's so many people hanging out. Like if you're a dude and you want to meet your next soulmate, you can meet, a chick who's probably got a family. She's trying to make ends meet, single mom. And then you can get some traction that way. Tyler says that's why they ask for headshots with your application. It's true. They want to know how you look. God, there's this one silver-haired lady there that for years I've seen her. She is so photogenic. Absolutely awesome. All right. So good luck with that. I'm glad so far that you are in there. I think you'd make a great addition to their staff. Becca Shea, part of this amazing audience. I'll just come out and say it. Yesterday on the Patreon, it was the end of the ride for an EZ Show audience member. It takes a lot to make this happen, but it did happen. It's been a long time coming with this particular audience member. And it finally was time. It was time. In fact, I spoke with several of you, and they said, yeah, it's long overdue. Long overdue. So I did the old easy, gave the audience member their walking papers. Now, sometimes that happens publicly, I guess as public as Patreon can be, or sometimes not publicly, like with the other person who shall not be named. But when I have a full-on banning, sometimes it happens out in the open, sometimes it does not. This one was out in the open, and this was a culmination of years and years of thinking, I'm not so sure about this person. And has been kind of teetering on the brink, and finally something went down yesterday on Patreon that pushed it over the abyss. So the official goodbye was said on the podcast, and then the subsequent follow-up work. I had discussions with various audience members, several of which were like, yeah, I'm surprised it lasted this long. So that is that. And if you want the further explanation as to what happened there, you're more than welcome to check it out on Patreon. I left it all there, the good, the bad, and the ugly, for you to witness. It did come out of the blue, the comment that was made. And let me just say this. If you've been, circling the drain as an audience member, and this person was well aware of that, I don't necessarily think we are seeing eye to eye, but whatever. I'll let things lie. Out of the blue, this weird aggressive moment and a strange accusation about me was made. And it's like, if it had been someone else, I would have just let that slide and rolled with it and laughed it off. But with this particular person, it was not going to happen. And it just seemed remarkably malicious. So I don't have to put up with that. So let me just say that now we are completely in clear air. There is no one in the audience that that is here right now that I have any, hesitations about from a personality standpoint. But I was like, okay. In fact, if you watch it back, I didn't rage, but I was remarkably annoyed. And I took my time in explaining how angry I was. And it was, I listened back to it. It was fantastic. It was some of my best work. And that's saying a lot because, as everybody knows, everything I do is amazing. So I went ahead and did that. And I've been hearing from audience members a lot since then saying, it's about damn time. It's about damn time. Tyler says, it struck me as a very controlled rage. Thank you. Yeah, you don't want to lose it. You want to remain calm in telling someone to go fuck themselves. But I don't like that. I don't like that the rest of you had to sit through that. And, when it was done, I was like, well, now what do I do? Do I continue on with the show? And I'm like, I don't think I can. I feel bad for everybody. And I can't. I mean, the only thing anybody's going to be thinking about now is going to be what just happened. So if I start to talk about whatever, it's just going to lay flat and be weird. So that's why I bailed. Nick, the black belt, says, I couldn't believe I couldn't believe it, of all the things to say about you. It was so weird. It was just the oddest thing. And I know you're like, hey, well, what was it? Well, there is a little bit of showbiz in this. This is a perfect opportunity for you to go to Patreon and sign up for a free 7 days and hear me literally destroy the latest audience member that has been given the black flag, if you will. There have only been a handful of members of the audience who have been given the black flag. You had the mass exodus of whatever year that was with the former Zaniacs. You had the moment in March of this 2025 with one of two of He Who Shall Not Be Named, and then yesterday. It takes a lot. You really got to. And the thing is, for me, it's death by 1,000 cuts. When it's like, all right, more trouble than you're worth. That's what it boils down to. And when it came to the previous one of He Who Shall Not Be Named, I felt bad about it. And then I kept talking to an audience member who I was like, I feel bad. I want to let He Who Shall Not Be Named back into the fold. And this audience member said, don't do it. Don't do it. You are being manipulated by all of these attempts to get back on the show, to be part of the chat. And I said, oh, all right, I guess you're right. But so then I held firm finally, and now that is since come and gone. And then, so that made that's actually taught me this moment here. I don't feel bad about it. I don't have any reservations or hesitations or thinking that, after I've calmed down, I don't feel that way anymore because I've learned that that's just what you have to do. Now, I did talk with one of my advisors on the show who said, hang on, my throat is killing me. There's nothing to keep these people from listening. They can make fake names, and I'm sure that they do. And they can listen, and they can even participate under different names. And I would be none the wiser. I would not know that. But it still has to be in the back of their mind that I don't care for them. I don't want them here. They better not reveal who they really are, or I then will have to ban that fake account. But, that's true. So you could even have someone who comes in here and creates a whole new identity and then merges in with the show, and then I could be unsuspectingly reading your comments and enjoying them. But know this, it's a fake identity. If I know who you really are, I would then treat it accordingly. I don't go backwards. I only go forward. And kudos to the audience member who said it's okay, Easy, if you're not comfortable with these moments. And you go ahead and do what you did. It is okay to do that, Cole says, not that he ever had his mind. And then he says, Automod blocked my first comment. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. About yesterday's takedown of this nameless audience member, Tyler says, it was an excellent shellacking worth the price of admission for sure. Alan says, and then he had the balls to say that he was sick of this shit. Oh, yeah, that was a good one. It's like, you? No, it really not a problem. There was I got a lot of comments with like, yeah, he was always an odd one. No one ever knew what was going on with that guy. So, all right, if you want that, you can check it out with 7 days free at patreon.com/Eric Zane. I blocked the person on Patreon. I blocked the person on Twitch here. I blocked the person on Facebook. This person had already been blocked on texts and email, despite being a regular member of the audience, because I was just so sick of having to deal with this. Okay. I'm sure this person will, of course, make a fake account and be part of the audience on Twitch. That's fine, but would never dare of admitting who they really were. No one will ever do that because they know then I'll just block that and we'll continue with this cycle of ridiculousness. Okay. But for the rest of you, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. And onward we go. Pooh Bear is leaving me. Okay, not for good. Thank God. She is leaving me today. Actually, I'm not going to see her. Like at 7 a.m. was the last time I'm going to see her until Monday. That's not great. She has to go take care of my dad. Meanwhile, today for me, I get my work done here, and then I have to be at the oncology veterinarian for O'Neill. He is suspected to be diagnosed with lymphoma. It is not yet official. They have not actually gotten eyes on cancer cells on a microscopic level. Diagnostics will be done today, which could possibly confirm that. I'm still holding out hope that they'll come back in from the lab and say, yeah, we were wrong. He's fine. Go home. And then I will weep. I'll probably weep either way. So his treatment will then commence, more than likely, after that diagnosis is confirmed. So I have to get him there for a 2 p.m. So I need to have all this stuff buttoned up, podcast-wise, before that, because this might take a while. It might be upwards of 2.5 hours over at Blue Pearl. And then I got to get him home, feed him, and then I'm off to the rink. We've got a hockey tonight. I just sent the tickets off to Kuipers. I had 4 free. If Kuipers has 1 extra, because it's only the only people that Kuipers is going to the game with, it's Kuipers and then mommy and daddy. All right. So Kuipers, mommy, and daddy will be in the commissioner's seats that I have for the season. 4 in a row. And there's only 3 because you have Kuipers is 1, mommy is 2, and daddy is 3. If any of you want to hang out with Kuipers, message Cutie Patootie and say, hey, I'm going with you to the hockey game. First person to get a hold of Kuipers gets those tickets or gets that ticket to the game. Ben Glaze says Linda as a date. Oh, so that would mean our very own murder lover Linda and Cutie Patootie seated next to each other, and then mommy and daddy. That would be an awesome first date. Well, you know, that's perfect for Kuipers because he loves MILFs. Well, in Linda's case, she's a GILF because I think she's like 66 years old now or something like that. She's as old as Pooh Bear is, which is 69 years old. So she's that old. Bunch of cradle robbers here. My God. Sarah Rook is here. She says, oh, shoot, I'm going to be out of town. Otherwise, I could have been mommy number 2. Alan says Linda sounded interested on Ben and Eric. Ben Glaze is here, comedic legend. He says, yeah, they'd be playing Hide the Fingers. Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be any finger banging in the stands, Ben Glaze. Which, by the way, Ben Glaze made a big announcement on his comedy career on the latest edition of the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. It's not a 100% announcement, but it sure seemed like something was going to happen. You can find out more information on the latest edition of the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast on platform number 2. That would be Twitch. All right. So there's a lot happening here. I am headed up. So today, after the hockey game, and then Saturday arrives, I have to head up way north of the hard living line for the Odawa Casino Petoskey at the very tip of Michigan. Petoskey's beautiful community. They have the big Halloween contest, Halloween costume contest. I have to judge the contest. So I get there Saturday, alone, hang out, judge contest, go to bed, wake up, back home Sunday. So another busy, busy day for your old pal EZ, or busy weekend for your old pal EZ. It's just one thing after another these days. And I'm here for it, frankly. That's the way it has to be. Getting some intense snoring in the background, by the way. Shh, listen. I think that's Darla. Megan says, are you the only contest judge? I don't know. I'm a little lean on the details. Bob says, hard living costume contest. Who has the best sheet ghost? I'm expecting no costumes, and they'll all just be dressed up as hobo. By the way, Bob being here, he says 2.5 hours diagnostic test at the vet. That'll run you another $8,000, won't it? Probably. I'm trying not to think about that. That's the only way I get through these moments, is avoiding the look into the crystal ball. Processing only the things that are in front of my eyes. That is the only way I do this. All right. Thank you so much for being here as part of the show. And for the folks that are watching on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, I am going to kick you out. If you want the rest of the show, you have to join me on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. That's right. Twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Head over there, follow the page, come up with a username, and get after it. This whole show is not on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, which you will find out right now. If you want to reach out with me, with maybe a suggestion, maybe a news flash, maybe a complaint, or perhaps even a compliment, which I'm always fishing for, head over to eric@ericzaneshow.com. Send me an email on the Shoreliners Striping inbox, eric@ericzaneshow.com. All right, I will kick you all out. Thank you. Oh, by the way, for the audience also on Kick, that's another platform that I'm on. Thank you so much to them.